Anyways, that's a lot more of a discussion for a problem I have with turn-based games in general, and it's why I'm a much bigger fan of real-time action games. Because to me, there's like, for me personally, and you know, your mileage may vary. Other people might be like, well, I actually find that increase in difficulty where you have to like spam like buff moves and like spam guard on specific turns and stuff like more difficult and more fun. I don't really.
This shouldn't be a problem.
I just find that it kind of gets tedious for me, and that's just something I have like with turn-based games in general, and it's why I prefer real-time action games. I'd much rather be playing a game where the difficulty comes from learning when to dodge and what direction to dodge in or when to hit the block button, and then attacking like a weak point in return or something, instead of, hey, this turn, everyone has to hit circle to guard on their turns because the enemy used charge. Okay, and on this next turn, you have to hit guard with the main character again, because if the main character gets hit, you game over because the enemy hits too hard. And then everyone else has to use like Masuku Kaja, Heat Riser, etc. And then after you've done those two setup block turns, then you can have everyone hit Megidola. Like hit their strongest attacking. This turn everyone hits Concentrate. All right, you've done your 3 turns of setup between 4 different characters. All 3 of them took setup turns. Now click 1 attacking move. and that's like the difficulty. But, you know, that just doesn't really do it for me compared to you're weak to ice. I still don't know what you're weak to. Burn. Okay, you absorb fire. Not good.
I'm still setting up.
Maybe you're also weak to ice? I'm gonna crit you. I did not crit him. It's using Agadine, so maybe it is just also weak to ice.
Hit them where it hurts.
Please do. Yep, they're just all weak to ice. Mitsuru, best girl, go! So, you know, that's just a general problem I have with turn-based games in general. And again, it's not to say that I dislike turn-based games. But because of how I feel about turn-based games, I feel they have to hit a nice middle ground of not being so easy that all I have to do is like hit X over and over and over again to win. But also not being so annoying that to be able to win, I have to like take 2 or 3 turns between 3 or 4 characters. I don't just mean like 2 or 3 turns. I mean like 4 turns between 4 different characters. So like all 4, like Akihiko, a turn is Akihiko hitting a buff move, a turn is Mitsuru hitting a buff move, Koromaru hits a buff move, Minato hits a buff move, then a turn with each of them hitting the guard button because the enemy used charge, then a turn of everyone using charge or Madarunda or whatever, and etc. And that being like how you win every single time, that gets mind-numbing to me. It needs to be a nice middle ground of like, okay, I gotta figure out weaknesses. Occasionally I have to guard. We gotta throw out some heals, but also like I'm attacking consistently, like breaking down the enemy's defenses, lowering their health, you know, stuff like that. It's gotta have that nice middle ground, and I think Persona 5 Royal hits that middle ground the best out of all turn-based games I've ever played. We've reached the 206th floor. The floor numbers are unspeakably high now. Do you think the floors will ever end? If only we had a clue. Another thing that Persona 5 has over Persona 3 and 4 for me, while we're talking about it, is switching characters in mid-combat. And you do have to unlock that with Hifumi, which was never a problem for me because Hifumi is like one of my favorite characters in Persona 5, so I always ranked her up a lot. But being able to swap out characters mid-combat made Persona 5 a lot more fun because it added a lot more variety and you could really change up what you were doing or what team styles you had. 3 and 4 kind of punish you for doing that instead of rewarding you for it like Persona 5 does.
There's a treasure chest.
See you now.
It'll take a little more time.
But, you know, what did this conversation stem from? I don't even remember. I think it was at the end of the day I was just postulating about reasonings basically on why I still like Persona 5 Royal more than Persona 3 Reload. Reload has been a great improvement over FES and Portable, like, by far, which I am very glad for, but I think it still falls short of Persona 5 Royal for the title of Best Persona game.
One enemy defeated. Good going, Kirito-senpai.
How are you weak to, bro? Sword. Not weak to sword.
Leader took one out.
It's got a knife! Made of Vorpal! That was an annoying crit. Are you weak to knife? No, you resist knife. That's the opposite of being weak to it. What about fist? No. Oh, I thought Mitsuru would get a turn before you. That sucks.
Now you've done it. Footwork, Sonata-senpai.
You're healed? Oh, I put some kind of armor on you that gives you like full health after you're down for the first time, didn't I? Oh, that's fun. Nice freeze. It's over. See you later, sucker. Nailed it.
All enemies defeated.
My back. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I'm back to taking experience buffs because I've decided that there's no fixing the level disparity. I think the game is just... I think that Reload's early game is balanced, like, good, I think. I don't know when it happened. I changed the difficulty to hard after the chariot fight. But now I'm at the highest difficulty.
That's a one-way teleport. But there's no need to head back yet.
I think it... When would it have happened? Was it after Hermit? I don't remember when I realized I was like so over-leveled that the game was getting too easy.
We don't see that kind of chest often. Let's not
Gimme. At some point in the late game, I want to say within the last 4 months of the game, the level scaling just got like really broken. The enemies are so much lower level than me, and I have not done anything to make that so. It just kind of naturally happened, which to me is the game's fault. Get zapped. All right.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
Please hit them where it hurts.
Go, Artemisia.
Artemisia. Oh, they reflect ice. Probably weak to fire then. Let's find out. Yep. Things that Get him, Mitsuru.
Show them, Artemisia.
I love Artemisia's whip. Just the way it has like all the segments around, all the like coiling around.
Like fish in a barrel. There's no escape. Executed.
If this game had bench experience, would you change your party per Tartarus run? Absolutely. I would mix up which party I used for boss fights.
Crushing victory.
I would try and do a different team composition for every single boss at like the full moon. And every time we went into Tartarus, I would use a new team composition. This signal, this movement, the greedy shadows closing in. Oh, this. Yeah, Seth is not Max Moon. Max, I haven't maxed out the Moon Social Link, so I wouldn't be able to have him if he was Max Moon. There it goes again. I think we'd get a really nice haul if we could defeat it. Would you like to chase it down? Yeah, let's chase it down. Why not? Yeah, use Tartarus search because I'm not doing the 3 coin flip nonsense.
All right.
How are you supposed to get the high-end personas? Telos is somewhere in the high 80s to early 90s. I don't know who Telos is, to be honest with you. But you probably just grind the Reaper for levels. Grinding the Reaper is normally how in the Persona games that aren't Royal that you grind your way to level 99. In Royal, if you do the 3rd semester, I'm pretty sure you end up at level 90, like, minimum, by the time you get done with everything.
I'll take care of this.
And then for those last few levels, you can, like, just grind rare enemies, or you can grind, whatever it is I'm thinking of, the Reaper. Don't bother.
You can't hide from me. Finale.
You're still alive? Nice.
Impressive footwork,
Get out of here.
Sonata-senpai. That about does it. No shadows detected.
Ooh, yeah. Da, 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 da. 2 levels away from Alice, 3 levels away from Loki.
Amazing.
Greedy Shadow defeated. Nice job. We managed to recover the treasure it was hoarding too. Thank you.
Yes.
We will definitely try to fight the Reaper in this playthrough, by the way. That was a lucky find, wasn't it? Mostly because if I want to be able to fuse Thanatos, we have to, and I want to fuse Thanatos. Getting the reading of a persona, go secure them right away. Who would you use for the final boss if the game had bench experience? This team.
Great.
I would use this team, or I would maybe sub out Akihiko for Aegis.
It looks like we're inside a kaleidoscope.
Actually, I probably would sub out Akihiko for Aegis, just because Aegis fighting the final boss is a little more,
That one's special. Take it down.
I want to say thematic. I don't really know what word I want to use here, but you get what I mean. Probably.
Still setting up. It'll take a little more time.
But the point is that all of the other bosses, like throughout the game,
Knock one down.
I would have been using a team that was not this exact team composition, and we would have been using different team members for Tartarus runs and whatnot. In the peace.
That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone.
Shuffle me. I mean, I really want this experience, but I'm going to take the Arcana card. We are going to have the Monad passage, presumably, at the end of this block. And if we have a Monad passage, hello, missing person, then the Monad passage should give us like 2 guaranteed level ups between all the high level bosses in it. That must be one of the people who went missing. We need to provide treatment immediately. Please return to the entrance as soon as you can. Give me an escort up here.
I've got this.
Would you like me to go? Don't worry, I'll be there in a jiffy. Yo, Ken, get him.
That's great.
Sorry for making you wait. I'll make sure this person gets back safe and sound.
Yes.
Don't worry, we'll keep them safe at the entrance, yada yada. Yep. I went with Mitsuru, Koromaru, and Ken because they gave coverage of attack styles and magic damage. I didn't use Aegis because she had no magical abilities. Yeah, I mean, in the theoretical where, like, all of the party members, like, in the theoretical where it works like Persona 5 Royal and you can just trade around the party members without any worry about experience or levels, then I would choose purely off of, like, thematic reasons more than I would, like, gameplay reasons, because, again, the game has been, like, super easy anyway. Like, I don't think you're gonna go into the final boss fight of this game with any team composition that is just like, oh, now you're gonna lose, you know? Like, you'll be able to win with any team comp, really, as long as you have decent personas on the main character. If you go in with, like, no healers and you don't have any healing stuff on the protagonist, well, then you could probably still even do it if you just had enough items, but it would be annoying. Even the run-of-the-mill shadows have gotten too strong to let your guard down around. This does bring up an interesting conversation I was having with my boy Slyro the other day when we were doing some Fire Emblem. How do people specifically avoid using Aegis because of her lack of magic? Because I was talking with Slyro, and Slyro was like, oh, I considered using Aegis, but I didn't like how she was mostly buffing skills and a few physical moves. And I was like, yeah, I tried using it for a bit, but I actually also got annoyed that I didn't have any magic attacks. Like, she only had physical moves. Like, I understand what they were going for with Aegis being the character that majorly focuses on physical attacks.
That was a critical hit.
But I think they did it wrong. I think they do it right with Junpei. Junpei focuses on physical attacks, but he has fire. Like, he has some fire skills. Aegis has nothing, and that makes her unappealing as a combat choice, especially in Persona, where one of the main ways to, like, get through fights is to find weaknesses and exploit them.
Now let's get back to exploring.
Like, on paper, I'm sure Aegis is still a perfectly fine party member. And I would use Aegis again if there was bench experience. If the experience system was like Persona 5 Royal, I would use Aegis every now and then. I would use every character every now and then, just for fun. But especially with especially in the original Persona 3 and in this version still, with how experience and all works, I'm just like, why would I ever pick Aegis over literally anyone else who can use
Even now,
an
enemies
element?
continue to block our path. The only way forward is to go through them.
Hello.
We caught them by
The enemy
surprise.
looks tough.
Bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. You're weak to wind. I was looking at chat for a second. You know? Let's try and get some dodges, because he uses Akashic Art. Oh, boosted. I already had the thing. My bad. Electric Onslaught!
Here I come! You're back to hell!
They allowed you to use cards to modify party members as well. I would have her how I wanted her, which would just be Mazionga charge and crit boosted amp.
Stay focused. This will do the trick.
I think that cards being restricted to the protagonist makes sense. Honestly. I should have used Markunda here, I'm stupid. I definitely feel that's, again, this is just another thing that I think Royal does better than all the other Persona games. I miss having equipment that gives you like an attacking skill or even a buffing skill. Like being able to give Ryuji Salvation was so much fun in Persona 5 Royal, and then you could give characters coverage. Like you could get an equip thing early in the game that was like, hey, give one of the party members Bufala. Look at that. Now all of a sudden On has ice coverage. That's wild. And I loved that. Nailed it. Looking forward to episode Aegis for the change they seem to make to her. Well, I mean, episode Aegis, they just make her a wild card, so. I mean, it is a change, but she's just the protagonist character.
One step at a time.
It's going down.
Thank you. Shall I move to strike?
Boom. There's always items to hit weaknesses. There are like, yeah, there are like gyms or whatever, but look at how few I have even though I never use them. I have 3 wind gyms or whatever. It's not the same. I would rather have a piece of equipment that gives a skill instead of like, oh, go buy the magical wind gyms to use the weak damaging wind move. It's not the same. Chaos hates cyborgs? First of all, not a cyborg. Aegis is a robot. I'm pretty sure to be a cyborg, you have to be like half machine, half human. Aegis is a robot. Second of all, my favorite Persona girl is Lapis, who is a robot.
That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone.
Level 10 stuff, dang. Kogoan, finally. This is literally pointless. Give me Justice already. Doesn't she have a human brain? No!
A victory well earned.
No. What weird Aegis fanfiction have you been reading? Aegis has a,
This shouldn't be a
oh, what is it called? A Papillion Heart, which is like a, it's a little circuit-like magic nonsense Persona thing that is from, what are they called, chat? They explained this in Arena. What's the thing? Aegis is called a Papillion Heart because it's 2 of them put together, but what's the thing that Labris and all of the other anti-shadow weapons have that let them have personas? What is the name? I do not remember the name. Dusk Plumes. Plume of Dusk. It's Plume of Dusk. She has a Plume of Dusk, which, like, gives her, basically makes her an AI. Like, a super sophisticated AI. But she does not have, like, a human anything.
Press the footwear Sonata
One step at a
Senpai.
time.
Ziodyne. Destruction. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, da, da, da,
I'll
da,
hit
da,
them where it
da.
hurts.
Baby, baby. I just saw how low on health my protagonist is. How did this happen? I thought that was what they said. They put a human brain in a machine to allow her to summon a persona. No, they never say that. You're mistaken. I don't know how you got mistaken on that, but I assure you, you were very mistaken. That is not the case at all.